today I want to give you my experience, or what I would call my customer review of AutoXpress. So for those who don't know, AutoXpress is one of the largest network of vehicle service center. So for your regular, engine service, filters, or maybe tires, brake pads, or maybe just checkups, AutoXpress is one of the centers where you can take your cars for that. So for myself, I have been servicing my vehicles at AutoXpress since 2021. And I went to AutoXpress, first of all, because I saw an advert that they always have a partnership with Uber. So Uber as a company to discount services for taxi drivers. So anytime you take your vehicle at AutoXpress and your vehicle is registered with Uber, you will get a lot of services at a discount. So for example, I used to service all my taxi cars there. Instead of paying something around 4,000, I was paying like 2,500. So from the price point, point of view, AutoXpress is very, very favorable, especially for taxi drivers who want to do everything to save cost, because there are so many other running costs for taxi drivers. But now, assuming that you are having a car and your car does not work on Uber, should you still also consider AutoXpress? From where I stand, even with my taxi cars, I find AutoXpress being very reliable for one reason. Because these guys, when you have a car, they create an account for your car, and everything you buy there or anything that you do there, they document it, and you are able to get the service history of that car. And also they maintain the type of stuff that you buy, so that when you come next, they will always ask you, do you want the same quality? Do you want the same brand as you used last time? And from, a car owner perspective, consistency is very, very important. You don't want to put certain type of fuel into your engine today. Next time when you are up for service, you go and put another brand, maybe a different type of oil. As long as it works, I feel like it is very, very important to have a record that helps you to maintain consistency. Because I was told that once you start servicing your car with certain type of products, it is very, very important that you maintain that quality. Okay, you don't have, of course, there are so many oils that will work with your engine, but the oil that you normally use for servicing, it is important that you maintain that consistency. And for my Uber cars, I would say that AutoXpress have really helped me achieve that. So I don't always have to memorize or keep papers in my wardrobe, trying to keep record of what type of products I have used previously with my car. Every time I go there, or if I send someone, because for my taxi cars, or I don't take them for service myself, it's the drivers who do that. And when they get there, they always ask that the products I used in my last service should be the same used in my next one. So that one is a very, very interesting thing. There is also another time that I bought tires at AutoXpress, and I did actually a video. So the guys that were replacing my tires, I bought the two front tires for my Nissan March at AutoXpress Proisambu. And unfortunately, the guy that was fixing my tires, he didn't fix them well. Actually, it's as if he cut the wires, and then the tires start bulging out. So a week later, I noticed that one of the tire had some bulges, so like ilikuwa inafura. So I took it there and I told them, these tires I bought a week ago, and they are starting to develop some bulging signs, meaning that it can explode anytime I hit maybe a pavement or something. So what they did, they went back to their CCTV. They tried to watch the whole clip of the workmanship, or how the guy was doing his stuff, and they noticed that there was a certain abnormality. There is a certain moment of like 5 minutes when the guy was like just up and down, like he was stuck, and they believe it is at that point when the mistake happened, because they insert some metals when they are trying to around the rim, when they are trying to fit back the tire or to remove it, and it is at that point that metal cut the wires. But the guy did not tell me. But when I went at AutoXpress, they agreed to replace that tire at no cost. So if you do those kind of stuff in a regular garage where things are not documented, you risk getting yourself into troubles. And this is not to say that there are no better places you can take your cars out there. No, probably I don't have experience of that. But for my many years that I have serviced cars at AutoXpress, to be honest, I have never had issues with my engine. I have never had issues with, the oil filters, the air filters. I've never had any issues. Probably some of you will say the quality of things at AutoXpress are not the best, but to be honest, with their current quality, I've never had issues. The other thing I want to mention, and this is very, very important. So you see, like, the car I'm, shooting my video from is a Mazda CX-5. These are 2-liter petrol car that I bought not more than, 4 months ago. And, I serviced it for the first time at AutoXpress. And I want to give you my step-by-step story that made me increase my confidence in these guys to a point whereby I can say that I can refer you. So, the engine oil that is used to service Mazdas, I think it is called W530. So you can Google something like that. So that is the manufacturer's recommended engine oil. So when I went at AutoXpress Roysambu, normally that's where I service my cars always, because I know some guys there, and also I feel at home because I've always, like, for the last 5 years, I've always been taking cars there. So in as much as there are other AutoXpress nearby where I live, I always prefer to go there. So when I went there, so I had already done my assignment, and I knew that this is the oil I need to do the service for my car. So it is W530 or 5W30, fully synthetic. So I had already done some reading online, because this is the very first time I'm servicing this car since I imported it from Japan. So when I went there, I wanted to test these guys if they can just service my car with any other oil, regardless of the manufacturer's recommendation. So when I met a gentleman there, he told me, give me some few minutes, I check what is the manufacturer's recommendation. So he looked at the system, everything, and he showed me that this is the preferred manufacturer's oil for the engine service of this Mazda. But he told me the 5W30 fully synthetic oil, they don't have it in that branch. And I came to notice later it's because that oil is from another brand. I think it's Rubies or something. But the AutoXpress in Zimmerman, it is located within Shell petrol station. So there are some products that AutoXpress cannot sell in certain stations because of conflict with other brands. So, AutoXpress can be, in partnership with Shell, they can be partnership with Rubies. So that guy told me that oil that they use to service Mazdas is actually not located there in that station. And if I want, they can give me an alternative that they said works quite well. I think 5W40. But he said that is not the recommended. But from their experience, they said that works equally well. But for me, I did not actually want to compromise. I spoke with certain technicians who are doing service there. They told me that, yes, the 5W40 also works equally well. But I told them I don't want to service my car with an alternative. I want to use the manufacturer's recommended, fully synthetic. So you know what they did? They sent me to another branch. I think it's their sister company along the bypass. And I went there. Their sister company there is actually in partnership with Rubies. So in Roysambu, I've said they are in partnership with Shell. So that's where they are based. Along the bypass, they are in partnership with Rubies. And the recommended manufacturer's oil for the Mazdas can actually be found within Rubies petrol station. And that's where their station is located. So they gave me a referral with the same ticket that I had obtained at Roysambu. So I went at bypass and I found the oil there, and they still maintained my card details and everything. I did not have to create a new account, and that is where I got my things sorted. But the beauty of that experience is the fact that they didn't jump quickly to give me oil that can work with my car, regardless of what the manufacturers, intended us to use. So for me, that one, I took it like, something that is very interesting, that they don't just push you to buy stuff, but they take time to tell you what is the recommended, especially for, let's say, relatively bigger cars. For Uber, I think I don't have any problem. I take them and to the AutoXpress, and they use whatever oil they use to repair those cars or to service those cars. So I don't know you guys where you do services for your car. And one of the most important thing why I prefer AutoXpress is that I don't have to take my car for service myself. Okay, I will send anyone. Actually, AutoXpress can pick the car from home and go and service, but for me, I would not prefer that. But I can send anyone, to take my car for service, and I will get all the details and the invoice in my email, and what was done and what was not done. And the next time when I go there, I know the products I used, and that is exactly what they will use on my car in the next service. So, guys, I really don't know what you think about this, but I feel like for people who don't want headaches because there is someone who was telling me it is good that you service your car with a mechanic that you trust. Okay, so imagine when your car is due for service and the mechanic is not there, or the mechanic is not available, or he is too busy, because these things happen, or the mechanic does not have the oil, because in any case the mechanic will have to order that oil, because a lot of mechanics don't have stock. And if the mechanic decides to buy oil that maybe is not the right one, okay, because maybe the one you had in mind is not available, the AutoXpress Service Center, in my view, solves all those puzzles for you. You don't have to think about your car records. You don't have to think about so many things. These guys, you just need to tell them what you want. And if they don't have, maybe they'll tell you they don't have, and they will send you where that product is. And if they have it, they will do that and document all that stories for you. And that's why, for me, even when I want to sell my cars, it becomes a very simple story, because I tell someone, just walk into AutoXpress station anywhere, go with my number plate, and you will get all the records of my service. I don't have to tell you stories that I usually service my car here or there. No, guys actually trust me very quickly when they see all those records. So I've done this video, is actually not a sponsored video by anyone, but it is just a video that I do as usual to educate people about the small things I know, and in hope that they will be able to learn a few things here or there. So guys, if you have a place where you service your cars, please be kind to share that with us, and I am sure we will learn a few things. So cheers, and see you in my next video.